Hi, I'm Greg Attamore, real estate experts of Southern Nevada. Today I'm honored to have a great guest with us, my partner, my business partner, and someone I started real estate with over 30 years ago, Randel Aleman. And he is the owner of Encore Commercial Inc. And we're just pleased as believers to come to you today in your home and share some stuff about today's real estate market. Randel, how long have you been in real estate business?
About 30 years now.
About 30 years. And tell the viewers how we met and how you began your career in real estate.
Well, I was just finished a wrestling career in 1980. They boycotted the Olympics. I qualified for the Olympic trials. After they boycotted it, I decided it was time to go to work. Mm-hmm. So I started in the construction industry and became frustrated with the construction industry and all the stuff that goes on in there, and decided that I wanted to come back and do something more white collar. Mm-hmm. So I took a job at Stewart Title as a runner. And when I was out jockeying papers around, I ran into Greg at one of the offices.
Yeah.
So it's been quite an experience.
Quite a journey. So you've been continually doing real estate now since that time, which is almost 30 years.
Correct.
Yeah, I wanted to share with the viewers also that what we did was in 1985, Randel came to me and asked me to list one of his parents' homes. And when he was working with Stewart Title, I asked him why me, and he said, well, because you're always writing deals and you're the most honest broker I know. So that has been a feather in my cap. I can remember it like it was yesterday. So I recruited Randy, had enormous energy and potential. And he became a top producer and opened up the Lakes Realty. Was it in 1985 for the Collins family?
It was 84. 85, something like that.
And that's before the water was even in the lake.
Yeah.
At the West Sahara, at the Lakes community.
Yeah, Al Collins was driving me around Lake East Drive, and it was a dirt road. In fact, we got a flat tire. Had to stop and change the tire. Yeah. But he told me his father was going to do a 30-acre man-made lake, and I looked at him like he bumped his melon. But anyways, today it's there.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. And both my mother and I went to work with you, and I know at the times we would have our sales meetings and we'd always pray to Jesus, and our company was founded on the principles of serving others. So, and then again, I just went to work with you this last year because I think I got a call from Randy. He said, we started this 30 years ago, let's ride into the sunset together. And I'd have to tell you, it's been a great blessing working with you and the top level commercial realtors that are associated with your company. And as a residential expert, I was able to come in and add that much more service to the community. So now we have all the commercial experts and the residential under one roof.
Right.
And for those who aren't familiar with Encore Commercial Inc., can you tell them where they're located? And
we're located at 7272 South El Capitan Way, out by Rhodes Ranch.
Okay, and then we own that's the whole building that you have. And
we've got the building there. We've owned it for about the last 7 years.
Right.
And got a beautiful little spot there overlooking Red Rock, and it's very nice.
Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about your background, Randel, like your family. I know you have a great family.
I'm married for 27 years. Mm-hmm. I've got a beautiful wife and 3 beautiful children. My oldest son is 25, Randel, mm-hmm. and he actually has been managing MMA fighters, working with the Martin Advisory Group, and I actually had him get his license about 3 years ago, and the market was just really tough, and I didn't want him to start in a market like that. So I said, go ahead and chase your dreams and do what you're doing with your MMA stuff. And I said, when the market comes back, I'd love to get you back into real estate, because that was my long-term goal, was to have my family working with me in my office. So my daughter is a senior this year at UNLV. She plays on the softball team, and then my youngest son, Colton, plays at Bishop Gorman High School on the football team. So we're looking forward to my wife and I being empty nesters as we send our youngest one off to college. But when I decided that it was time for Randel to come back into the real estate market, I wanted somebody to coach him. And obviously, my thoughts and feelings about you, Greg, being who you are. And I asked you to come finish this deal with me. As I said, we started 30 years ago together,
Mhm.
and I wanted us to finish together. So you being who you are, I wanted somebody to mentor my son in the real estate business. I wanted to start in the residential because I feel like it's important to have well-grounded roots and learn all aspects of real estate. So I made the phone call to my buddy Greg and said, hey Greg, let's do this thing and end it together. So we're back together, and he's handling the residential, and I'm taking care of the commercial. And my son is learning from the best.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. And by the way, he is doing brilliantly. He just absorbs everything, and like a lot of younger folks, tech savvy. I mean, anything that comes up with the computer, he's got to figure it out within minutes. So it is a pleasure to disciple him, and he's a very, very bright, and sure he'll do fantastic, as you have. I'm also proud that I was able to, in the beginning, mentor you, because you were sending me all this business, and then we encouraged you, both my mother and I, to get in the business, and I know you took it off and really did phenomenal and opened up a lot of businesses. I know you've probably, I'm not sure, you have a construction department.
Yeah.
And you build homes.
Yeah, we have a
commercial properties.
Right. We have a commercial construction company called Encore Construction, and then we have a home building company called Encore Homes. And so we pretty much can handle anything from the ground up. We've done a lot development around town. We've built probably close to 100 homes. We've built over 100,000 square foot of office retail space, and so we're pretty savvy on everything from acquisition of the land to the entitlement process. I was actually involved in the original exchange for what is now Rhodes Ranch. And my last big deal that I finished was a sale to the Southern Nevada Water Authority of the Warm Springs Ranch property, which was the habitat for the Moapa Days fish. So that was a 1,230 acre project out in Moapa. I discovered that property in Moapa because when this town was exploding in 2006, I was looking where was the best place for people to go, you know what I mean, to help solve our affordable housing problem. Little did I know that we would solve the affordable problem ourselves through this economic downturn that we've had, but I was always tried to be ahead of the curve and to find locations that made a lot of sense. So I was out in there looking for property, and I stumbled across the Warm Springs Ranch, was able to acquire it from the church, the LDS church, and then put some entitlements in place, and then sell it to the Southern Nevada Water Authority. After we tried to develop it, they said no, because of the habitat of the Dace fish, and we ended up selling it to them. So it's been a lot of fun. The last 3 years has been a little rough, you know what I mean? The market's starting to turn. The home builders are actually selling more homes than they projected in their 2012 business plans. And real estate prices on property are coming back up. I know that we're running out of resale homes as the banks are sitting on a lot of their short, on their inventory, and opting to short sell them as opposed to just flooding the foreclosure steps with inventory, and they seem to be doing better. In turn, the home builders, the new home builders, are starting to make their comeback. Real estate prices are starting to go back up on the land, and now is truly the time to buy. I think some buyers are becoming frustrated with the resale and the short sales. I think they're starting to now look to new homes because they come with the warranty and for all those reasons. But as I said, the market's coming back, and now I think we're bouncing along the bottom and just starting to come off. I think it's time that people start going back in. As I said, we're at the bottom of the market. There's inventory out there that's bank-owned properties that can be bought for less than you can build them for. I mean, you can buy buildings for $50 a square foot that are existing buildings. And now is the time to buy those buildings, because I mean, back in the day it was $90, $95 a square foot to build those buildings. Today you can buy them for $50. So then you can pass that savings on to your tenants, lower rental rates. In turn, it just is for a good, positive market rebound.
Right, and it seems to make it a excellent market to bring in businesses like, say, from California, and of course a lot of international businesses are coming here. I think we have a favorable tax structure, we're pro-business, we're pro-growth. So I think with buildings being sold for what they less than they cost to build, it probably couldn't be a more opportune to buy, both residential and commercial.
Right. Just to give you an example, there's a gentleman that I've been working with, his name's John Lee. He owns a company called Blue Fi Lending, and he's out of Carlsbad, California. And I just leased him 5,500 square foot on in a West Charleston tower out front of the Red Rock on the 5th floor. And then I'm looking for a building. We've got our eye on a building right now that we're interested in buying. It's again a bank-owned property, and after John looked, when he came to me, he was just all about leasing. And after I got him to slow down and listen to me a little bit, you know what I mean, because he was in such a hurry to get in here, and I think a lot of the reason, as you said, Greg, was that he realizes that the state tax in California is going up. Nevada is a no corporate tax, no state tax. It's a corporate-friendly state, and he wants to relocate not relocate his business, keep that business there in Carlsbad going, but move his main headquarters to Nevada because it is so tax-friendly. And so, I mean, he's opening a call center. He's going to employ approximately 120 people, you know, all new jobs, which is positive, stuff we haven't seen for a long time in this market. So, as I said, I think things are starting to rebound and things are coming back. So it's a positive sign. Yeah,
it is encouraging, especially now that we're moving forward. We have the election behind us. People get back to work, get focused on jobs and the renewing economy. And of course, with the construction business recovering, that'll help us a lot locally. I know the airport recently was proud to announce the Terminal 3 opening, which of course is going to bring a lot of an infusion of international clientele here, both for the Strip resorts and as we're finding, I think you're finding in commercial, that they are very interested in buying. A lot of the buyers from overseas, their dollars are worth more sometimes than the Americans. So we're getting Canadians, Asians, people from China, Israel, everywhere across the globe seems to be interested in Las Vegas.
I think there's a lot of EB-5 money coming in too, which is the money from overseas.
AB-5, is that what?
Yeah, it's EB-5.
Oh, EB?
Yeah. Basically, what that does is it allows people to not buy their citizenship, but invest in this country, and in turn, you know, get a return on their investment and get a green card.
Oh, so I see.
That's probably the short version of it, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. In terms of the residential market, have you seen, you mentioned that there's a shortage of supply, and according to the Board of Realtors, there's usually like 25,000 listings in any given month, and I think there's like probably 4,000, and when both your son and me, we call on the property, we have to call every time before we show it, because find out how many offers are on the properties. So really, intrinsically, there might be 1,500 to 2,000 homes, and for a population of about 2 million, we can see that there's a great deal of demand for a very small amount of properties. And would you agree that the prices have been increasing over last year and continue to increase because of the supply and demand?
Absolutely. I mean, I know just talking to Randel, he's telling me that a lot of times they're going in with offers that are over list and still not getting the home. And a lot of that is because they're going head to head with an investor from out of the country or from out of the state coming in with cash. And of course, if he's got somebody looking to try and buy something and get an FHA loan and put the minimum down payment, of course the bank and the owner of the home want to do the short sale and just make sure that the deal is done. So it's been a little bit frustrating doing that, and I think that in turn is what's causing the resale the new home market to rebound. I've talked to some of my best friends that are presidents of the national home building firms, and they're telling me that, you know, they had a total for their business plan for 2012 projected 85 homes, and in September they were sitting at 235. So they've well exceeded what their expectations were for 2012, and they're trying to gear up for 2013 and put their business plans together and buy parcels of land, buy finished lots if they can buy them, and buy papered lots if those are available. And I know we had a 47-unit condominium project that was a bank-owned project out on Summerlin, and We sold that to a gentleman who's excited to go out and develop that project. It's out there off of West Charleston and Desert Foothills. Really A++ area.
Oh, sure.
And he's excited to have that. He's excited to develop that project. And I think, Greg, you helped the same guy try and buy one of the standing inventory homes in there, and it was a little bit frustrating as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think the list price was 119, and I think it ended up selling for like 140 something. So,
right. And we're trying to move on another property right now, and of course it's a pleasure to work with a gentleman, professional former, I won't mention any names, professional football player from the NFL. And, one of the things that you hit upon, which I think is a very important thing that would help those viewers that are or potential clients that are looking for commercial acquisitions, is you mentioned that you have contacts with attorneys. So obviously there's properties that we have access to that really aren't on the open market yet. So because of the connections and the relationships you have with some of the builders, developers, and attorneys, if someone was interested in contacting you that wanted to do a development,
what I've had a lot of success doing is combining. I've kind of been the champion of the little guy. When I first got into the land business, of course, I told you I was mentored by Al Collins, and Al, God rest his soul. I mean, I love the guy. He had vision that nobody else had, and was really a rainmaker. And I learned from him, and I pride myself in the work that I do. And but when I first started, I didn't have enough money to go out and buy a piece of property. So I started kind of syndicating. I started, forming LLCs, and got a good friend of mine, George LaForge. We started together. We didn't have the money, so together we would each, if a property was $100,000, we bought a frontage piece on Durango for 95 grand, Durango and Trop, back in the day. We didn't have the $95,000, so we went out and found 10 people with $9,500, formed a general partnership, and started buying and selling our real estate, and that's how we went, how we started. And of course, we've all kind of wore our butt for a hat in the last 4 years, but as I said, it's starting to rebound, and the market's coming back, and we'll all be stronger for it, those of us that survived it. And I got to tell you, there's been a lot of people hurt, but the market is coming back, and now is the time to go back in, and there's some tremendous deals out there. And as I said, you don't have to have $100,000 in your pocket to buy. You can come into one of these limited liability companies and go in on a piece of property and buy something that you didn't think you had the ability to buy. So it's just a matter of how you structure it and how you put the deal together. Right,
and a lot of creative financing that you do and putting these groups together, I think the viewers might want to realize that they don't necessarily have to have good credit. If they've had a short sale, a foreclosure, a bankruptcy, which like 70–80% of the people in Southern Nevada have been affected by this market downturn. So we have an opportunity now just to come in with some cash.
Yeah, I see some of the banks starting to get more aggressive now, and there's also a lot of seller carrybacks. You know what I mean? As I said, there's people that have been hanging on to their property for a long time, and they're ready to just sell and do a seller carryback. So a lot of those things are out there, and you and I remember in 2004, 2005, 2006, there was no seller carryback. Everybody was demanding cash and getting it. Back in the good old days when we started, it was normal to put 30% down and get a seller carryback at 70%, at 7–8% interest, and be happy to get the return on their investment. So that is back, and that's active, and there are sellers that are carrying back properties. And as I said, everything has been real positive in the last 6 months, and I see the market starting to make a pretty strong rebound. I think that residential land prices are in the southwest area of town where I spend a lot of my time, they're in the $150,000 to $200,000 price range again, and it hasn't been that way for quite a while. So it's real positive, and I'm happy to see
and we
it.
couple that with the 3% interest rates, anywhere from I think 15-year loans are 2.75, and I think I just closed one at 3.25 last week. $200,000 home, you might be looking at a payment of $1,000 a month with taxes and insurance, and these homes would rent for $2,000.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said, I think the new home market, a lot of the buyers are becoming frustrated with the short sales, and I think that the new home market, a lot of the builders have done write-downs, and their write-downs, they've written their land down to zero so they can compete head-to-head with the foreclosures. That won't be around much longer. So if somebody wants to buy New home, now is the time. I know that you can buy new homes for, you know, under $70 a foot in some places.
It's amazing.
So it's a great time to buy.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I look to the new home market to be strong for the next few years.
Right, and I'd like to share with the viewers too that we do specialize in new homes. So you can contact our office or contact Randy or myself at 528-1100, Randy, and I'm at 561-7454. We're more than happy to give you a video list of all the new homes, the prices, and the incentives that they have. And so it is good to be represented when you go into a new home, because as a lot of viewers may or may not know, the agent that's out on the track, sometimes, well, they work for the builder. So there's a lot of incentives and deal points that we can claw as realtors representing you, and it doesn't cost any money to be represented by a realtor.
Right.
It's not something you want to undertake on your own.
No, it's not, for sure.
But that is a great point, because we do have a large segment of the market that is available. You don't have to wait that long, and once you get a bid accepted, then you know you can pretty much count on a reasonable period of time before you close escrow, move into your new homes.
Right.
We're finding a lot of people want to be in by the holidays.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas is coming, the new end of the new year. So, you know, our audience is Christian TV, and you have a 120-unit place up in.
Yeah,
Brandhead?
it's called Summit Mountain Lodge, and we purchased it back in 2005, and we had a gentleman up there running it for us, and he did a really good job for the resources that he had. But my brother came to me and he expressed an interest in, you know, taking over that lodge, because as I said, you know, he was selling homes at the county courthouse steps.
Oh, yeah.
And back when the banks were just flooding the market with, you know, foreclosed homes,
Sure.
he made a very good living doing that.
Sure.
And that gig's kind of up. And so he was looking for something else to do, did very well for himself,
Oh, sure.
made a lot of money, and looking for something to do. So we took back over the Summit Mountain Lodge, and from the gentleman who was running it, we're up there doing a lot of renovation, but we primarily do a lot of church groups, Christian groups, LDS groups up there at the Summit Mountain Lodge in Bryan Head.
So for retreats or get-togethers,
or corporate retreats or family reunions, a lot of family reunions, just a whole bunch of stuff. It sleeps about 120 people. It's about 9,500 feet elevation. It's a kind of an outback adventure lodge. So in the winter time, we may have 4 or 5 feet of snow. So we have a snow cat with a people mover in the back of it, and it's kind of fun and exciting experience to do this. We have snowshoes and cross-country skiing, and just a great place to hang out. We got, like I said, 15 yurts, and I don't know if anybody knows what a yurt is, but it's like a Mongolian tent, and it's designed and built for really cold weather.
Oh, sure.
And they're beautiful. And then we have 12 cabins, individual little cabins, and then we have a 12-room suite, and where there's 12 bedrooms and 12 baths, and then we have a great big open area down below with TV and a fireplace and a commercial grade kitchen. It's just a really fun place to hang out in the summertime. There's a lot of stuff to do, hiking and mountain biking and horseback riding, and we've got a little zip line that we bring up there. It's just a lot of fun, and it's a great place to hang out.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I think a lot of church groups or fellowships or maybe even camps could make that available to their churches and to their friends and for recreation and so on.
Absolutely.
So,
Scout groups and all that
that's-
stuff's fun.
That's awesome. If someone were interested in getting in touch with you, how do they contact you about the Summit Lodge or retreats or any of your properties and opportunities? What's the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me is on my cell, and that number is 702-528-1100.
702-528-1100.
Correct.
Randel Aleman, Encore Commercial Realty.
And then I'd be happy to refer you to the phone number where you can get information about the lodge.
Okay,
or
great.
about any of our real estate opportunities.
Also, I wanted to share with our viewers that we have a lot of exclusive properties that are not in multiple listing, that they're not anywhere else. So if you wanted to contact me or any of our staff, we can email video tours of the properties to our viewers. And these properties, again, are not on the open market. These are what we call pocket listings or exclusive listings. So I want to share with the viewers, if you need to see some properties, if you are frustrated trying to find a home and getting caught up in bidding wars, you can contact me, Greg Atmore, at 702-561-7454. Again, we have standing inventory on homes that are owner financed, as well as bank owned and short sale properties that you don't find anywhere else. And I think that's refreshing to the buyers who have made offers, they've looked and got turned down, or got caught into the frustration of getting rejected. So we do have quite a few properties available. My email address is gregadamore@cox.net. That's GREGADAMOUR at cox.net. And again, my phone number is 702-561-7454. Thank our viewers for watching our show today. Invite them to next week. We've got some special guests coming. I have a rabbi pastor who's a pastor of a Messianic church for Jews for Jesus, and we have a pastor from Calvary Mesa, Mike Welty, that'll be coming, and we'll be talking more about real estate experts of Southern Nevada, and we'll also be sharing some of the testimonies of the great things that God's doing in our community.
Thanks, Randy. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, Randall, and an honor to work with you. I'm really blessed since I came there. It's just the best office. I got the best coffee, the nicest people, and it's really a beautiful office. I'd like to make everybody aware that it's at the corner of El Capitan and Warm Springs. And anytime that they feel welcome to come on in anytime, it's a great building, great group of people there.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much for being our guest today, and we do appreciate you coming. And
thank you.
we hope to see you all next week, same time. And thank you for viewing. God bless you all.